Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hi, you are very welcome. This is Reading the Past and I'm Dr. Cat, and welcome back again to my car. This time we are in the salubrious surroundings of a service station parking lot. I have pulled over to check up on my friend. I'm on my way to Harvington Hall to go and see my friend Phil get hunted. No other way of putting that, really. He has been spending the last few days, he's going to spend a total of 48 hours in a priest hide, and it's going to end with him experiencing and us witnessing a priest hunt. So him getting dragged out of the hide, and what would follow on from that is him being treated appallingly, most likely tortured. That's not going to happen to Phil, but he is going to experience the priest hunt. So I did just park up to see how he's doing. And
do you know what I have to say, everybody? I'm feeling unbelievably positive still. I can't believe how resilient I've been in all of this, because it's been a weird hi Jen, you're right, it's been really weird kind of the last few hours, because I've done 36 I've done, so I know what 36 is like. So I got to that point and I thought, you know, I could do 72 hours here. I'm not gonna, but I could. I feel like I could do 72 hours. But the last few hours, I've been kind of like drifting in and out of sleep quite a lot, having some of the most bizarre dreams. But I think it's now at this point, it's starting to get to me, in the fact that it's doing something psychologically to me now, because I'm sleeping at weird times, and it's like I find myself drifting in and I think I'm hearing things. I wake up and I think I'm hearing noises, and there's an occasion this morning I thought James had been. I thought James had. I'm just laughing at your comment, Jen. James, I thought I spoke to James, and then I hadn't, and then I thought someone radioed me, and they hadn't. So I'm kind of going. It's not hallucination, but it's a bit weird.
This is somebody that I know. He's been on History After Dark. I've met him. He's my friend, and knowing what I know about what a priest hunt actually was, I wonder how I'm going to feel about it. I wonder how you're going to feel about it. But most of all, I wonder how Phil's going to feel about it. He was talking in the most recent live on Instagram about how obviously he hasn't had to be quiet. So he's in this pitch black priest hide. He's peeing in a bucket. He's got scarce food, scarce water. It's lonely. It's dark. But he isn't frightened by every sound that he's hearing outside. In fact, he can take comfort in it. But for that last hour, there's going to be people searching for him. And while he knows, logically, that they're not going to drag him out and take him to the Tower of London and rack him, he's been through the number of hours he's been through. And this is not going to be a nice thing, I don't think. I don't think it's going to be a pleasant experience. And I suppose we're going to have to wait and see when he's ready to sit down and talk to me about the hall and about this experience more fully. We'll have to see what he makes of it and how different the experience of being, in quotes, hunted actually was. But without further ado, let's set off, let's go to the hall, and let's watch my friend get hunted.
Sergeant Harvey! With me! We'll go this way. Don't go in there. Where are we looking? Sir, it's this ceiling, sir. It's much wider than the room above. The wall to the room above makes no difference to what this ceiling looks like. The room above is much narrower. There's a discrepancy of about 3 feet wide, sir.
Indeed. So it's this,
Yes,
this
sir.
stretch
Yes,
here,
sir.
then.
It's this here.
Where would there be an entrance for that then?
It's emanating from that room there, sir.
That one?
That room there, sir.
Right. Sergeant!
Sir.
Follow me. You come with me. Come on, man, out! Father Downing, I presume.
Yes, sir.
Come on, man. How long have you been in there, man?
Too long.
I think perhaps a glass of water.
Yeah, I think so.
Right. Escort him into the withdrawing room. Check his wounds. Give him a drink.
Aye, sir.
I have wine to finish.
What? Okay. First and foremost, this is going to be the first introduction of people to you. Who are you? What have you got to do with Harvington Hall? What's up? Go
Nothing,
on.
I just turn up sometimes. So I'm Phil, and I'm the hall manager. So I'm the manager of this beautiful house and have been for 5 years now. I've been involved here in 9 years in total. So I was a volunteer tour guide when I had a normal job beforehand, and I'd spend my weekends here and have to lie to my girlfriend at the time where I was. She'd think I was playing golf, and I'd be here.
This is golf.
This is golf. Yeah.
Okay. And what got you into history?
Just like, I suppose, like most people, I don't know how you like a lot of people, school.
Yeah.
I always remember it. Year 2, we were learning about castles, Mott and Bailey castles. We visited Goodrich Castle. That was it. And I think at that, and I've said this before to someone, at that moment, I think I realised, as I don't know how old you are in year 2, 6, 7, I don't know. Kind of realising, oh, people used to live hundreds of years ago. Like there were people here before us. Like, because you don't think about it, do you? And you start thinking, wow, that's interesting. How did they live? And that seems so alien to what we know. I think that just piqued my interest, and then that was it.
And now
I'm here.
And you, to raise money for this incredible place, and we will be putting links in the description, so check it out. This is not the first time you've done something unspeakably deranged. This is your third rodeo. So because before you went in to the sweatbox coffin, you were part of running the incredible history festival here. How many years has that been going for?
3rd year.
So 3rd year, and also 3rd year of you getting in a priest hide. So you finished this incredibly successful history festival with amazing speakers. Check it out next year, friends. And you think the way to celebrate is to get into a dark hole.
Yeah.
Tell me the thinking behind this.
I've said this already in another interview. There's method in my madness here because I didn't have to pack any of it away.
So you would rather spend 48 hours in a sweaty, dark room?
To be honest, I'd done my arm in. I had repetitive strain injury as well, so I couldn't actually lift anything. But I came out of the hiding place, and all the tables and chairs were put back in the garden. All the marquees had gone. It was brilliant. It was great.
So it's a scheme.
Yeah, but I think that the real reason, that wasn't the real reason. The real reason, it was a publicity stunt. You know, we've got a history festival. We've got thousands of people here, people that don't ordinarily come to Harvington, some people that have never been before, and it's kind of a way of getting more donations. You know, it's kind of like, well, Phil's doing some crazy thing at the end of the week, you know, shake a bucket at them, give us your money. And it just raises awareness of it. I think, you know, we talk about hiding places all the time on a daily basis, but until you actually go in one, you can't really comment what it was like. I mean, that's the thing, and I now can. I'm probably the only person alive in this country. Well, there are other countries, of course, there's wars going on, people will be hiding and things like that. But to actually sleep in a 16th century priest hole, I'm possibly the only person alive to do it. So it's quite a cool thing, really.
I mean, it's incredible. And they would be in those hides while they are being hunted by people who, best case scenario, want to torture them a bit. Worst case scenario, they're going to see to it that they're executed. These spaces, it's a matter of life and death. When you came out, it was apparent to me that you were not okay, and you looked very shaken. I'd seen, and I'm going to hopefully show the live stream you did about 4 hours earlier, where you were saying, I feel fine. I could do 72 hours.
Yeah.
I'm having conversations with people that aren't here.
Yeah.
But do you look back on that now and realise that you perhaps weren't okay 4 hours
I
earlier?
wasn't okay.
Right.
No.
So what's going on with what's going through your mind in these times?
Not a lot. It's a strange one. The last, I tell you, this is interesting. So I've done it 3 times. I did 24 hours 8 years ago. I did 36 hours 3 years ago. And of course, 48 only a few days ago. Now, one thing I've noticed, every time I do it, it's easy to get to that previous target. So when I did 36 hours, put it this way, the first 24-hour one I did was tough.
Right.
24 hours was a long time. When I did the 36 hours, the first 24 hours went like that. It didn't bother me. And I thought, how easy. I struggled last time. It was the following 12 hours that I struggled with.
Right.
This time round, 36 hours, piece of cake. It was the next 12 hours.
Right.
It's that extra bit. I'm already used to it mentally of doing those others. And it's the next step. So it's always the next 12 hours is the bit I always struggle with. And it was the 12 hours sort of leading to the 48th hour was when I started to think. I thought I was talking to James a few times over the walkie-talkie. I could have sworn he came into the library at some point and I'd spoke to him, and I hadn't. So I was sleeping a lot. My brain kind of switched off because it's so dark in there, which you would have seen. It messes with your body clock because you start to think to yourself, well, it's like midnight and it's 10:30 in the morning. Your brain just can't work out what the time of day is, and you just start to feel sleepy, and you just kind of sleep. But then you're half in a sleep, and you're half not in a sleep. So then you start dreaming, but it wasn't a dream. But then you don't know what is a dream and what isn't, and you start to question. Hang on, did I do that? I'm sure that's just happened. So it does start to play tricks on your mind. But it was like I said to you earlier on, off camera. It's like when you go beyond tired, you can carry on. Kind of thing, and that's how I felt. I'd kind of gone beyond the point of like, oh, I'm all right, I'll just carry on going. Yeah.
It's so for a 16th, 17th century priest. Do we know how long the longest time? I mean, presumably we only know if somebody got caught at the end, because there could be people in there for longer. They didn't get caught, and we wouldn't know about that. Yeah. What's the longest time someone was in a hide and then they got found?
Oh, and got found?
Because that's the only way we'd know, presumably. Or unless somebody has been...
No, someone did. So Father Richard Blount at Scotney Castle hid for 10 days and came out, escaped.
Oh, right.
So he was with his servant, and they did 10 days together. They also did another 8-day stint as well. That's a lot for one priest. He's gone through a 10-day and an 8-day stint in the same year.
Oh.
That's tough. That is tough.
Were they managing to get food to him? What was happening?
They came out alive, so I'm guessing there was enough there.
Wow, right, okay.
The longest in a hide and caught is 7 days. Where is it now? 7 days, 7 nights, and the odd few hours is what Henry Garnet said. So basically 8 days. He was found with Father Edward Oldcorn. So there were 2 of them, 10 miles away from here, caught on the 8th day.
And is this Edward Oldcorn? Is this after this that he is enucleated and he become the relic of his eye?
Yes.
Right. Which was on display at the British Museum a few years ago, so I saw that.
Yeah. It's really shriveled, I think, isn't it?
Yes, it's in a little silver, looks like a little silver pillbox with an eye, with eyelashes and everything.
Oh, really?
They're in there, and presumably the house is being searched. Now, when you were doing the priest hunt here, you could hear the banging. Mm-hmm. I assume it becomes quite oppressive when you're in the room. Mm-hmm. And then to get found and ripped out of there, these are men of presumably very profound faith. Mm-hmm. Obviously, that's perhaps not your experience. What do you think that having a really profound faith might have helped you cope with it better?
Yeah. So I did a talk at the History Festival on the last day, and what I did is I put on the screen all the side effects of things like light deprivation, lack of sleep, fear, lack of food and water, and going through all of these things that I experienced, what priests would experience, but the one thing I said that separates us completely is faith. I don't have faith. I'm not religious. Some of these men were fanatics. So they are very dedicated, very focused. And there's no real accounts of priests' mental state after being in a hiding place. A lot of priests are writing about it years later, which you kind of forget the trauma. But it makes me wonder: is actually were they all right? You know, were they okay? That there's a record of a priest, Thomas Stanley, stabbing someone through paranoia. That could potentially happen. There's another priest. He suffered with claustrophobia. So
bad job for him. Then.
So Father Henry Garnet wouldn't sort of put him in a house where it would put the family at risk, because if the priest doesn't come knocking, he's just not going to hide. And of course, that's going to put the family in danger because they're housing a priest. So there are a few examples of them completely can't cope with it. But then there are others like Father John Gerard, who is the most famous one of them all, who could withstand torture and seemed all right with it. You know, he's fanatical.
Yeah, I've got a video on John Gerard and his escape from the Tower of London that I will link. The experience of doing this 3 times, and in each case you have done it to raise money for this incredible house because things need doing. What else has it done for you? What do you feel you've learnt from it?
I'm a bit mad. I'm a bit weird.
Because it is kind of living history.
It is living. The thing is, for me, I am trying to replicate. I spend so much time in this house talking about priest hiding. This is the sort of thing they'd go through. And it's good when people ask questions, I can answer it from personal experience, what they might be feeling like. And I think it's just to be able to put myself in that position. I read so much about this period, this topic, and I want to know what it must feel like. I want to put myself in that position. You know, we all say we'd love to time travel, don't we? We'd love to go back in time, see what it was like in the Tudor times. Well, do you know what? I'm going to try and live it as best as I can. Yes, I don't have the fear of being tortured and then hanged, drawn and quartered at the end of it, but I can put myself in that situation and put myself in a stressful situation. It also proves to me how I think I'm pretty strong, because there's not a lot of people that could probably do it. A lot of people go, oh, I couldn't do that. But some of these guys, they had no choice. They had to do it.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't. They didn't have to be a priest at all, did they? But I mean, they came back to England knowing full well what the dangers were.
Yeah.
So I think it's just to experience it myself. I think that's the.
I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible to speak to somebody who has been through it. I mean, I think about the people who were potentially in priest hides and they had to stay there. Maybe some of these priest hides were there cases where they couldn't let themselves out.
A lot of the time, well, you wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, a lot of them have got contraptions on the inside how you can get in and out. But I mean, like the one here in the library, you couldn't get out of that on your own because once the beam's put down over the top of you, the panelling goes back on the wall.
Right.
So you can't open the beam. You have to wait for someone to come and let you out.
So what if the lord and lady of the house who know where the priest hide is, the trusted servant of the house who knows where the priest hide is, have put a priest in there, and then they've been arrested?
Yeah, that happened.
What happens to the priest?
Sits it out.
What if he sits it out and he runs out of food or drink?
There's always that risk. There's no accounts, regardless of what rubbish you read on the internet, there's no accounts of a priest dying in a priest hide. There's no accounts of it. There are accounts, and I can think easily just a couple off the top of my head, where there are priests in the house and the lady of the house has been arrested, taken away, and they're still there. So you just have to rely on the fact that they're going to come back. And it's quite interesting. I mean, there's a few. The best accounts, Father John Gerard hiding for 4 days at a place called Broadoaks, which is what they used to call Braddocks back in the day, and he was there for 4 days in total. The lady of the house had been arrested and taken away on the 2nd day.
Right.
But when she came back on the 4th day, he came out because she came and found him. But she didn't. What Gerard says, I mean, it might be a slight exaggeration. Gerard didn't really eat for 4 days and didn't really have a lot of food. And she also starved herself for the 4 days to put herself through it. And he says that he didn't almost recognise her when he came out. 4 days without eating anything and drinking is quite something. Yeah. So she was, out of sort of guilt, I suppose he was there, she wanted to go through it with him.
It's absolutely mad. But there's another story. Father William Weston was hiding under a floor, and a servant had put him in the hiding place, which I said is unusual. So it must have been a trusted servant. Servant, lady of the house, had been arrested, and he hid for 2 days. So the amount of time I was in one, in silence, because he wasn't sure if the priest hunters were just listening in. So the house is quiet. So he's there for 2 days. He can't hear anything in the house. Everyone's been arrested. And if there were any servants around, they certainly didn't know where the hiding place was because no one came for him. So he literally talks about how he lifts. He uses his shoulders to lift up the trap door, and he's literally just sort of like listening. And eventually he hears a voice, and she's calling him, and he comes out. But you just don't know, do you? That's the thing. And there was a priest that was captured through coughing. So, you know, they just sit there in silence for ages.
Well, volunteers here said they would walk around and see if they could hear you breathing because they're that close to you.
Yeah. So they were coming. So sort of middle of the night, they would come and check I was still breathing because the air quality is pretty bad in there. There's not a lot of fresh air in there, and they'd be outside the wall in that little cupboard on the spiral staircase, listening in, and I don't snore, so they were kind of really like, is he breathing? Is he making a noise?
That's horrendous.
Yeah. But interesting enough, when I did 36 hours, James was walking literally in the middle of this room because the hiding place is actually behind the wall up there. Part of it is behind the wall up there. He could hear me breathing through the wall from in here, which is crazy because the thing is, this house is deathly quiet. We're in the middle of nowhere. You can hear a bit of road noise, but in the middle of the night, there's nothing. Yeah. And it's so quiet, your ears are ringing because you can't hear. It's like your ears are like, please give me something to, give me some sound. Give me some sound. It's just going, just sort of like rings all the time. Horrible.
I suppose it's the other thing as well. You knew it was 48 hours and you were doing live so you could see the time. But for some of them, they don't know if it's going to be 48, 72. No. Can you imagine being chucked in a priest hide and then being told, we'll let you out when we've decided you've hid for long enough? Yeah. How do you think you feel about that?
Wouldn't do it.
That would be the line.
I just wouldn't do it. I just don't think I'd do that because how much that must the tricks on your mind for that, thinking they'll come any minute, but then another 24 hours has gone by and they still haven't.
I almost regret saying that out loud because I feel like a year from now you're going to think that's a good choice. This is not a good choice.
I know.
I said it and I instantly regret putting that out into the atmosphere. Don't do that.
Do you know what though? This is going to sound stupid. After doing it this time, it feels a bit addictive. It's almost like I could just do a bit more. I could just do another one. I could do it again. I think my reaction of when I came out is already proved to me, don't do it again.
What was your reaction when you came out? Because I didn't film that because I wasn't with you for that bit. I saw you come down the stairs looking shaky. I saw your pursuivant look concerned. And that's when I realised I was very sure at that point that it wasn't you acting. Yeah. I knew that was for real. Yeah. And he looked concerned, and I was concerned. What happened, if you don't mind sharing?
No, that's fine. So I think when I first came out, the first thing is I don't really remember seeing you or anyone. I remember people there, and I could just see like a halo over everyone. It was a really weird, it was like rainbows because it's light that I haven't seen for quite a while. As soon as I took a deep breath in, my body went into some kind of shock because the air is so cold when you first come out. It's like it's fresh air, and you kind of go. And it puts you into shock. So as I came down the ladder, I was shaking, as you saw. And I was thinking to myself, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. And it's when I got to the bottom step of the library, I couldn't stop crying. I just literally crying uncontrollably, hyperventilating. And I came through the door in the corner, and I was basically holding on to the window ledge as I came through. I knew there were people in here. I didn't see who was in here. I could just see their legs. And I needed to get into the withdrawing room through there. And it was just... I just felt like I'm a pitiful man. Like I was just like, and it's that kind of, I felt like an old man. I was sort of hunched over and I was shaking and I was just hyperventilating. It's the shock. The senses, everything is so bright. You kind of you're so discombobulated. It's like, I can't explain it. It's a bit of you're in shock, basically. I don't really remember much of coming out. I don't remember being held by the collar because I've seen a video of me being almost pulled out by the collar. I don't remember the priest hunter doing that. I don't really remember who was where or what was. I don't really remember.
Yeah, I think it was all your team in here because we were all in there. Yeah. So But yeah, you sat through there, I think, having a drink before coming and doing a Q&A, which, by the way, came and did a Q&A after all of that. And I remember I looked over at someone who works here and I sort of was like, is he all right? Because I was very aware that something was not okay. And so afterwards, you go home, you have a shower, go to bed.
Yeah.
Just
Slept like a log.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to feel normal?
2 days. 2 nights sleep is what I needed.
Right.
I'd slept a lot throughout the hiding place, but it wasn't sleep. I don't know what you call it. It's not sleep that doesn't do anything. It doesn't help. You're still tired.
Really?
It's kind of that. I had a lot of sleep, but not quality sleep.
Right.
As soon as I got home, head hit the pillow, fast asleep. That's not like me. I don't just fall asleep. I'm wired normally. I'm always thinking of stuff. But no, I was fast asleep. The following day, so 2 days after, come 7 o'clock at night, I was ready to drop. Now, I'm a night owl. I'm more of a night person than I am morning person.
Same.
And I was conked out, absolutely exhausted. It doesn't help the fact that I've had no day off. I literally had, up until that point, I'd done 10 days straight without a day off. We'd had the history festival throughout. So they're like 12, 14-hour days every day. I've then gone in a hiding place for 48 hours and I still not had a day off. Like I'm still going. So I'm kind of like, I need a break.
Yes.
Some people would argue my 48 hours is a break.
No.
Trust me, it's not.
Incorrect. Not a break.
No.
Not a break. Mentally, physically, emotionally taxing. That will have a weight to it. Not a break at all. You have very kindly. This house is fabulous for many reasons. You are going to show me a bunch of the priest hides, so you're going to come along for that. There's also incredible art on the walls, which you're also going to show me. What do you think? What do you want visitors to know about this house? Potential visitors, recurring visitors. What do you want them to know about this place?
It's very different. I think that if people love Tudor history and Elizabethan history particularly, this house is the best house in the country for it. And I know it's a biased thing to say. You know it and I know it. We've all been to places where it's a beautiful old Tudor house on the outside and you come in and we're looking at Georgian, Victorian, Edwardian furniture. Families have lived in it for centuries and they keep tweaking it, they keep altering it. This house is raw. It is almost in its original state. We have the largest collection of wall paintings in the country on 16th century plasterwork that's still there. And you can very much touch it. Please don't, but it's there.
It's not behind glass.
No, it's not behind glass.
Don't touch it.
Don't even breathe on it. And, we've got more priest holes than any other house in the country. You are walking into an Elizabethan house almost as it was 450 odd years ago. And you just see just an amazing house. I mean, the story that we tell as well, this is a period of history that we all know about Elizabeth I, and everyone says that she's the most amazing queen and she was great and, all the rest of it. There was another side to Elizabethan England, and this is the darker side of it. This isn't... You imagine being in this house all those years ago, sitting at a board like this, just not knowing that knock on the door could be a group of men looking to find a priest in your house.
And just ruin every aspect of your life.
And the paranoia of the man who's in the portrait up there, sitting at the head of the board here, knowing that if a priest is found in his house, he's potentially going to lose his life as well.
Yeah.
Or if nothing else, he's going to be thrown in prison, have all of his land confiscated or heavily fined. And I'm talking like stupid amounts of money.
Yes.
You'd be paranoid the whole time. I mean, what a way to live. I mean, you could imagine how it must be. So you kind of get that sense while you're here. And what's so beautiful about it is the fact that it's so confusing. The house has been remodeled. You're almost in the minds of those people like, well, if I just change things here, and the psychology of the house is just, it's quirky. There's no other house like it. There's plenty of houses with priest holes in it, but there's something very different about this house.
It's like, it's a labyrinth. It's a place of confusion. And I'm going to cut to the VT of that now. So you can see you leading me. Staircases, nooks, crannies, attics. At points, I'm going to be honest, I will be freaking out because we're up high and all sorts of things. So we're going to go and show you that now. And then in a minute, we're going to come back and I'm going to grill you a bit more. Ignore the height difference. Phil's going to tell us about these wall paintings. So what's going on here?
So this wall painting here, we've got it's like a cherub, I suppose, really climbing up some kind of drape alongside the wall. So these paintings are called antique work or grotesque paintings.
Cool.
The public never see this one because we're behind this door which says no entry. So you're not allowed in here. But this is one of the best examples. But through that door and all the way around the rest of the house, we've got plenty of antique work.
Well, we're going to have a look at that as well. And what's the other thing here?
So this one, I mean, exactly the same. There's a little trace of sort of antique work here. But one thing that the Conservator found a few weeks ago while sort of taking away layers of whitewash and old wax is actually this leaf here that is painted green. Now you might think, well, it's just a green leaf, and leaves are green. However, in this style of painting, our Conservator, who's been doing this for decades, I mean, he's retiring now, so he's been around a bit, he's said that that's the only green paint he's ever seen on antique work painting and on a leaf. So it's unusual, so we don't really know why that's there. And as you can see, the plaster's come off the wall here before they put this horrible thing in. So did this continue on and then start going into coloured wall painting? We just don't know.
Because normally they're sort of, there's some like black and kind of almost like a browny cream.
So they're black and white predominantly with traces of red. Normally the flesh colour is always sort of shaded in as red. Okay. So there are hints of red in this style painting, but green not so much.
Well, green's hard to make. Have they found out what it's made from?
No, I don't think we've had this one tested. We've had paint elsewhere in the house tested, but I don't think there's been anything on this one. But actually, when you get quite close to it and there's a light on it, it's really quite vibrant as well. There's definitely
Could it be malachite?
I don't know.
Well, if so, then you've got the kind of the importation networks, eh?
Yeah, don't know.
Really, well, watch this space. When there's an update, I'll put it in the history news. Amazing.
Cool, isn't it?
That's so cool. You've just brought me through the door.
I have.
We've gone no further than literally a pace.
Yeah.
What have we got for me here?
So we've got two of our mermaids. We've got, on the left-hand side, we've got a mermaid holding a sword. Now, that painting has been my favourite painting in the house for years, but you couldn't really see her all that well up until a couple of months ago. We've had all the... Basically, in the 1930s, they put wax all over the walls to protect the walls, and which it has done, but it's darkened over the years and it's discoloured everything. But also what it's done is actually hidden some of the detail of the painting. So it's been painstakingly cleaned, and now you can see very much the sword in her hand, the tail that goes sort of all the way over the top of her head.
Oh, yes.
And it comes down quite a way onto the wall. And I just think it's a beautiful painting, and no one ever gets to see it because she's just sort of high up on the wall there that no one sees. On the right-hand side, we've got our famous mermaid, which we call the two-tail mermaid, a bit like Starbucks coffee, as you can see.
Other coffee shops are available.
Yeah, other coffee shops are available. And she's got like a bowl of fruit on her head. And yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful painting, but it's all been cleaned, all been repaired, so all the cracks that are in there. And it's just, I think it's just amazing. And it just shows the level of detail that, you know, the decoration these houses had. So these paintings, antique works, probably sort of like 1580s, 1590s, sort of stretching to sort of 1600. So they're Elizabethan paintings and rather nice. It's interesting, actually, you can see that the two-tail mermaid wall painting has dropped. Because if you look at the sword on the left-hand side, on that mermaid on the left, the sword comes onto the right-hand side, and see how it's dropped. It's a few inches lower, the end of the sword.
That's probably why some of these floors feel a little bit skewish.
So it's all dropped. And if you look top left, there's like a little cherub, like a wing, like a little smile, and the wing goes onto the wall on the left, and you can see it's higher than the one on the right.
It's about an inch or so in it, isn't there?
So it's slightly moved.
These houses, they do settle. I'm handheld. We're going to test this out. Phil is going to explain how a priest hide is in this property. And how Nicholas Owen, you think Nicholas Owen
99.9. I can put my life on it.
Okay,
That's how strong I'm going with it. I can put my life on Nicholas Owen building this hiding place.
well, because circumstantial evidence, as I said, it is evidence.
Yes.
But no one will say for sure 100% it is him. But you're pretty.
I'm pretty sure, just because this is so ingenious. How this corridor works here is baffling. This is the most confusing part of the house.
Fabric, explain it to us like we're five, because I feel like I am.
This is, am I looking at you or the camera? Does it really matter? I can look at both.
Yeah.
Right. Basically, we're standing now in the middle of the house. Now, I can ask you, Kat, do you know where you are in relation to downstairs? The answer's probably going to be no.
No.
You're slap bang in the middle of the hall. And you've got everything going on. You've got a spiral staircase behind you.
Okay, I'm going to turn and look at that.
So you've got a spiral staircase.
Up, going up and down. Ignore my film equipment. Ignore that.
You've got a floor height change here. Goes up a few steps. Over here, you have another floor height change going up into the library. And you have this corridor that leads you down to the great staircase.
Okay.
It's all a bit confusing. Now, the best hiding places in the country are around staircases or in them. So we're very close by to the hiding place that I slept in. Very, very close by. Let me explain something. Right, so up there you can see the Two-Tailed Mermaid war painting.
Yes, which we've talked about already.
We've talked about already. The war paintings dating 1580, 1590, possibly edging towards 1600. But the hiding place very close by dates to, we think, 1603.
Okay.
So the war paintings are earlier. Now, if you turn the camera back round through this door, which is the Great Chamber, if we drew a straight line from the mermaid painting right through and up to the wall up there, there is the same style painting as the mermaid.
So where the panel is open.
Where the panel is open, there is more antique work up there.
Right.
Which would suggest that all of this, going back through to the mermaid, is one corridor. So looking at the ceiling, you can see where there's obviously a modern beam up there now, but we think that the room came to here originally. And what Nicholas Owen or someone with him has done has demolished the wall here, extended the room back to this wall, which what that does, if you're all still following me because this is really confusing, creates a little gap, a space from there to there. And the hiding place is directly above there.
Right. And to confuse matters further,
Yes.
the stair cupboard, what's happened there?
Right. But notice the ceiling height is lower here.
Yes.
So what we think Nicholas Owen has had to do, he's put a barrier in the way of the hiding place. So if you're a priest hunter here now, standing in this space, and you look up, you'll think, well, that's a bit odd, what's going on there? So what one of the priest hunters does, he comes around the stairs up here. Following. And finds just a cupboard, which is this space here.
Poking. It's a bit dark. I will try and get some pictures of this, and it is a cupboard.
Right. Beyond, so through there where you can see your own reflection,
Hiya.
that's the window looking into the priest hole that I've slept in. So imagine that's a brick wall there. There's no window there. The hiding place is beyond it. So this cupboard is the barrier to the hiding place through that window.
Okay.
So you imagine, and they may have even panelled in there as well. So you imagine you're not going to think as a priest that there's something beyond that wall.
It's tricked you. It's playing with the dimensions of the house.
Yes, totally. That's it really. But yeah, the hiding place is there. So you can see how all the floor heights, all the levels have changed. And what this does with the floor heights makes the windows at the back of the house all jumbled up.
Right.
So if you take a shot from the back of the house, which I'm sure you will now, I've said it, you'll see the back of the house, the windows are all over the place.
Okay.
And it's all a trick. It's all to trick priest hunters. They can't really they might find it if they measure everything properly, but the chances are they're going to miss that one completely. This one is so well hidden it wasn't rediscovered until 1894. We know there were people living here for like 200 years and didn't know it was here. So that cupboard where you've just been, where you could see your reflection, that's where it was found, through that wall.
So not through...
No, because there was panelling on the wall in the way of that. So where that window is now, all the bricks were loose. And this guy called Bernard, a 25-year-old chap whose granddad lived in the farmhouse over the road, he took the bricks out and then noticed that there was a stool in there.
There was a stool still in there? And so when you enter it, you don't go in through the staircase.
No. We go this way. Are you following?
I'm following you. Of course I am.
So, we're now into the library. So, in here...
And this is... I will have shown the footage of you being dragged out of this place.
Yeah, so this is basically the site of it. So, Nicholas Owen, the priest hole maker, we're certain, has built this hiding place. We're almost certain of it. There would have been wood panelling from, well, there was, because we've got a photo. From the floor to here is panelled. There were doors that sat at the front here which opened outwards. So this is concealed. This is a cupboard. There were panelling on all 3 sides of the wall. You can see there's still some panelling behind me there. So when the hide was found, the panelling was still on the wall.
Oh, so what, you would have taken the panelling off and then put the priest...
So what you'd have to do is open the doors, take the books out, climb into here, unclip the panelling off the wall, then you do the grand reveal of the hide being opened.
Good God.
Shove the priest in there. He can bolt it from the inside. And then what they do, get the panelling, put it back on the wall, put the books back in the cupboard and close the doors.
So when it comes to these things being installed at the time, who is aware of who knows where these things are? She said this one wasn't found for centuries.
Yes.
Who knows it's there?
The man of the house, the lady of the house, the priests, and the priest hole maker.
But
you might tell your very, very trusted servants, but you would be very selective who you tell. You don't tell kids. There's records of children being threatened and servants being bribed with money.
Because a house like this would have required servants. So where are you putting them?
So there are, not on this house, there are accounts of households moving out.
Okay.
Whilst work's being done.
So what are they told? Oh, we're just refurbing.
Well, yes. Well, we've got a great staircase, and that staircase was put in to disguise what was going on. So what the family would have been told, or the servants would have been told here, right, we're all moving out. We're having a brand new Elizabethan staircase erected. Because great staircases are becoming a thing in 1600. These sort of like the Jacobeans have got some fantastic stairs, haven't they? So everyone moves away. They put this great big staircase in. So the servants come back and go, oh, we've got a brand new staircase. They don't realise that all of this has been put in as well.
And how many priest hides are in this house?
7.
Which means this is the house with the most surviving priest hides in the country.
Yes. The best way to explain this, one of our tour guides said this, and they've put it beautifully. This house was an Amazon warehouse for priests.
That is brilliant.
It means there's a lot of them here. It's a distribution centre, basically.
Wow. So they rest here and then they get sent on where they're going to go. This is when it comes to like priest hunting, post excommunication, England, Elizabethans, all the way up into the gunpowder plot. This is one of the most important houses for that history.
Yeah. You won't find hiding places as good as this one. I'm biased, but it's true. I've seen pretty much every hide in the country. This house has still such an authentic feel, as you know. It looks pretty much. It's not quite as bright and as vibrant as it was, but it looks as original as you're going to get it.
Yeah.
So the story of all of this, you're not going to get a better story than this house in terms of recusant history, the priest hunters, priests. Unfortunately, the only thing we haven't got is a story of the priest hunters coming here. So that's the only thing we're lacking. However, I suspect they have been here, but they weren't doing one of their thorough searches. It would have been a bit of a turned a blind eye to kind of that looks a bit dodgy, but we won't say anything kind of thing.
And if they had, my goodness, with all these hides, they would have probably lucked out, wouldn't they?
Yeah. There's no way they're finding that one. I can't imagine them. If it wasn't found for 200 years, a week's search isn't going to find it if you're for a few days or a week.
Yeah.
It's amazing, really.
Incredible. Yeah. So I'm going to come up these stairs, and it's going to be dark, so I'm probably going to have to also bring up the lights at some point. I'm not getting in here under any circumstances. My gosh, you can't see a bloody look.
You can't.
Look at that.
So
I've just put my hand in.
Put your hand in. It's 8 foot long in there, but you can't even see halfway in.
All the camera is telling me is focusing failed, focusing failed.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to bring a light up, but it's pitch black.
Yeah, pitch black. Yeah, scary, isn't it?
No wonder when we saw you coming out, your eyes were really adjusting.
Yeah.
Phil, you've led me up to the top of the house.
Yep.
Near the top of the house. You've brought me to a staircase.
Yep.
You want to show me something?
I do want to show you something, yes. So, I mean, something you were asking me a moment ago is about how do people not know that the hiding place has been built. This staircase here is not the original staircase. It's a replica of the Elizabethan staircase. So this is what we think was built at the same time as the hiding place was installed, all the hiding places, the ingenious ones. So the family would have moved away, servants have moved away, and when they come back, there's a lovely big staircase here.
It's delightful.
However, as I said earlier on, best hiding places are around staircases or in them. And there's a hiding place in this staircase here.
Okay.
A lot of people would think it's going to be quite small because it's just like a little cupboard under the stairs. However, this is much bigger than you think it's going to be. Are you ready?
It's like a TARDIS. Right, let's have a look. What?
Yeah. So that's it in there.
I like your little jewelleries.
Well, I'm going to tell you about that. The hiding place inside there is 5'9" in length, 5 foot wide and 6 foot high. But can you see the hinge on this timber?
Yeah.
Now it's clearly a door. We think it would be plastered and made to look like brick. There is an example up in Durham in a hiding place where they have, the doorway is plastered and it's made to look like brick. Because you couldn't put a brick door there, it wouldn't be able to, the weight would be too much. So the priest hunters happen to find the staircase, but what they find is jewellery. The jewellery is the decoy. It's a bit like the cupboard on the spiral staircase. It's the barrier to the hiding place. It's something that Nicholas Owen did. So I know you're a bit of a rabble, right? A bit of a rebel, you. So you'd find that and go, tell you what, I'll have that. Stick that in your skyrocket, your pocket, and you imagine the head priest hunters down the stairs shouting, have you found anything, lads? And you go, no, nothing up here, sir, at all. So you've just taken the jewellery and you close it back down and you don't go back in.
So it's essentially it's banking on the fact that the people who are hunting other humans might be prepared to just do off with the money.
Yeah. I mean, this small section is doing exactly what the cupboard on the spiral staircase is doing. It's the barrier to the hide.
Is this a normal thing for priest hides?
Yeah.
Or is this the Nicholas Owen thing?
Nicholas Owen thing, yes.
Okay.
Nicholas Owen puts barriers in the way of hiding places. Now, I'm going to try and throw you off now. So would you agree? We've just walked up the stairs, haven't we?
Yeah.
So the library's downstairs, isn't it?
I mean, yes.
Yeah. Right. So this hiding place in here and the one in the library are actually built on the same level. Yeah. So we've come up the stairs, yet that hiding place, through that wall there, Kat, where it says Great Staircase next to your stuff there.
Yeah.
Right. Through here. You know when I'm sitting on that platform, we've just been talking to me, my head was the other side of that wall.
No, that high?
Yeah.
Okay, is this right? Is this the house settling, or is this
It's Nicholas Owen?
skullduggery?
Yeah, he's managed to build everything on the same level.
That's wild.
And think about it. We're in the corridor. The floor height changed. We went up into the library.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then up again.
Again. Off the great staircase. See, if you pan the camera around, this is the top floor. But what you've done is you've come down a few steps. So what's happened is downstairs, you've gone up, and upstairs, you've gone down, and then meet in the middle. It's exactly the same height. They're built on exactly the same level, yet you've come up the stairs. It's nuts, isn't it?
It's like a fun house.
Yeah. But real life.
Yeah, and also for a terrifying purpose. Yeah. Phil, where are you taking me now? We're still upstairs.
So we're on the top floor. Yeah, we're on.
After what you just said, we could be in the basement.
We're on the top floor. So this is called the Nine Worthies Passage because there's paintings literally at either side of the walls, which are Elizabethan.
Yes.
Late Elizabethan.
The camera's not doing them justice.
No. But you come through here, this doorway, and swing a left into this room. Now immediately, people are going to be thinking all sorts about the wall paintings because we're all childish. But the wall paintings in here are representing blood and water, which is representing the Passion of Christ. So this is very much an Elizabethan chapel. This is probably how it was in the 1590s. It's an amazing thing that it still survives. Yeah. Now, by law, because Catholic Mass is banned under Elizabeth I, but Humphrey Packington, because he's gentry, is allowed his own private chapel as long as he goes to the Church of England service at Christmas, Easter, Ascension and Whitsun. And he has to read from a Church of England prayer book. He'd be doing none of that, but that's something that he'd be doing in this room, but you would use it as a chapel. What's interesting, and I haven't told you this already, this is an Elizabethan shelf.
Hey!
And do you know how we know this?
How?
look at the droplet there, how it goes off on an angle.
Oh, look.
How that one's extended through the shelf. And if you look carefully, there is actually a drop. There's a black outline of a drop there. So
I hope that's been picked up on camera. It might not be, but I could see it.
A proper, and you can see them over here. Look at these ones. How it just goes off on a right angle.
Oh, will you look at that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really clever.
I honestly don't know how many Elizabethan shelves still survive, but it's amazing. Obviously, the shelf itself isn't there,
But the brackets are.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's great.
I mean, also the wood looks very similar to the wood that's holding up the wall.
Yeah, exactly. It's perfect. Now over here we've got the altar. The altar, interestingly enough, we positioned it here because we think this is where they used to put it, because the droplets don't exist in that section. But you'll notice they're even on the brickwork. They're everywhere.
Yes. They're around the windows and everything.
So it's everywhere, but yet it's not in that place there.
So it makes sense that that's...
Now that isn't facing east, because everyone always asks this, but I don't think they really cared where they put the altar. When you have to do it in secret, you just kind of have an altar and you just crack on.
Yeah, there's a big gap.
There's a big gap.
Right.
So coming out of the chapel in April, the slope. You can't pick it up on the camera. The slope on the.
I just want to say, because I'm looking at this through the viewfinder, and I think people are going to go, "Can she not hold her hand straight?" I want to just point out, I am holding my hand straight, but I am standing on an uneven floor, and Phil is standing on an uneven floor. I'm going to scroll down.
This is really. I mean, I've had a ball or something to. I haven't got anything to roll down the.
I haven't either.
It's just. Not that you carry balls around in your pocket, or it's a silly thing, but you can see it really kind of goes like that.
Yeah, it's on a slant.
Yeah, completely. But this wall here is something. So in April 2020, I was walking around the house with nothing to do because, of course, it was COVID, and came across this very, very faint image on the wall, which you'll be able to see.
Yeah.
The camera won't really.
I've tried to get this on camera. It doesn't, for some reason, it doesn't come out on camera. When I tell you, I'm looking at it right now from behind the camera, and I can see this very clearly. I can see lips, which you can't see,
and a nose.
Yes.
So what we can see here is a ruff with a jewel in the middle of the ruff. The ruff continues round. There's the chin. There's the mouth. There's the nose. There's the eye. There's something going on with the head there. I'll come back to that in a second.
Yep.
And what looks like a stick, or could it be a scepter? So I believe this is Elizabeth I. Now, you'd have seen the portrait. Is it one where she's got feathers in her hat?
Yes.
That kind of look. That's what it kind of looks, what's going on there. But for me, what better way to disguise the chapel to make it look like a Church of England chapel? You put Elizabeth I out the front of it. The priest unders come and say, "Well, Mr. Packington, you've got a chapel." And he said, "Well, I do have a chapel. I'm allowed one, but it's also a Church of England chapel."
Yes, because of course the arms of England go on the rood screen. That makes loads of sense.
What's interesting is, I'm not saying this is a fact. I just like this. I like this now. Her eyes are looking in this direction, and through up there is the illegal chapel.
All right, come, let's see.
So, following on through the nursery, which, to be honest, is probably where the local Catholics would come and hear the mass, so they'd be in here. But up these steps, and again, extremely wonky steps.
Yes, I'm just going to pull back on that.
The best way to see it is from there. The windows are straight, and then that is completely. It can show that the angles are all wrong.
Yeah. So it's not my dodgy camera work.
Not your dodgy camera work.
It's not my dodgy camera work. Okay, so we're coming up, and it's lovely. It's lovely and light.
Lovely.
Lovely.
To confuse matters, we're on the 4th story of a 3-story house.
Cool.
So we are right at the top of the house now. The best place to put the chapel, because you are the furthest point away from the front door.
Yeah.
So
through the windows I can see chimneys. Yes. I don't know if you can, because it's quite bright.
So altar here. Yeah. Of course, this is a giveaway. The altar would be made of stone traditionally, but we have a chest of drawers.
So you can just take the cloth off.
So we've got it ready for mass. However, 9 times out of 10, it would just be a normal chest of drawers. As soon as they want to celebrate mass, then they put the altar cloth over the top. They put what they call the massing stuff on the top. And as long as we've got a priest, we're good to go.
Right. But what if somebody comes and starts banging on the door? You've got all this stuff out.
We've got 3 accounts, written accounts, of there being an escape route somewhere around the doorway. A sliding panel, that's all we've had. It's 3 people have mentioned this. There is some arrangement of getting into the attic from here. Unfortunately, in the 1930s, the builders stripped out any evidence of it.
But there was something. You could get up into the attic. And through the attic, can you move through the building and potentially out?
Now, what's interesting is, and again, I'll have to give you some photos to use this, but so we're in a tower here, and the main building is there. So from the outside, you've got the main tower and then the main building. Now, there's a gable now that's missing, but there was a gable that joined the tower to the main building. So there's another bit of the attic, which is above here. In the 30s, they removed the gable, so all the roof has gone as well. We've got photographs of it there. So this makes sense that there was an escape route through another little bit of the attic into the main building. It's all been removed.
Or would you just leave your massing stuff behind?
The priest is out, he's out the way. Massing stuff needs to go in what they call a secret corner. Now, our secret corner doesn't look too secret anymore. It's these 2 floorboards in the corner of the room. So this is not for a priest, it's for the massing stuff and the priest's vestments.
So you just bundle it all up, chuck it in.
Chuck it in, get your chest of drawers, and drag it over the top.
Which is just there.
It's just there, and you just pray they're not going to find it.
Well, there you go.
But it's a bedroom, you see. This is how you disguise it. You don't have it as a chapel, it's a bedroom. So the priest can just come in and think, oh, it's just a bedroom. Think nothing of it.
Spare
Yeah.
Right, Phil, you've brought me up to the attic where we're currently...
This is the junk room.
All important things are stored, it's not junk. Hard hats, safety first.
Safety first. I mean, we should have a hard hat on, but I think we'll be all right. Just watch your head.
Look.
I mean, you're short anyway, so...
Hey,
sure.
you're getting brave, and I don't recommend it. So you're going to show me some priest hides and priest roots that are in the attic of this. So what are we above right now?
So we are above the Great Staircase.
Okay, the one that's put in to cover the...
Yes.
Right.
This room would have been a mezzanine floor, so this would have been a room in the Elizabethan period of, it may have been a bedroom, it might have been something. This wasn't the way into the attic hundreds of years ago.
Okay.
This has been put in the last sort of 50, 60 years. So this was just another room. But if you come up the steps...
Okay, I'm following you.
We're going to go now into the attic, which is very confusing. I think it's worth just pointing the camera cat just at that space there. Remember this for later. That's a trap door, which would have been disguised by the fact there would have been a ceiling here. You can see all the nail marks on these. So that would have been lath and plastered like the rest of the ceiling that you see in here. That's just a bit that's just fallen off.
Okay, so the way you got the safety glass, that would have been a trap door.
Yes, so through you come into the attic. Now be very careful and beware of the bangs when the fire doors close behind you. So again, looking up here, you've got nail marks, so it would have been lath and plastered. Just to your right-hand side down here, there's a bit of perspex. Now that is the escape route from the marble room where there's a false fireplace. I know we haven't covered that already on this, but what I showed you earlier, there was a false fireplace in one of the rooms. So the priest escapes up through a chimney, up through a fireplace, up where that perspex is there. And then he can do a few different things, but he needs to get up above us. So he needs to go back to that trap door, but we'll come back to that.
Okay.
We'll come back to that. So come past the dead body. It's not a dead body.
For everybody watching, he's not storing it just looks like a corpse. It's not actually a corpse.
For Christmas. It's something we hang up.
A Christmas corpse.
Yeah, Christmas corpse.
Thank you, darling.
So the priest has carried on above our heads. So this is a walkway all over the top of here. You can see some of this plasterwork hanging off here. Now, this is obvious now. There's a priest hole through here. Of course, this is obvious.
A big hole.
Yeah, this would have been plastered across.
Right.
Because the doorway to get in is actually up there. Don't know if you want to try and get that.
Yeah. So they've come along this, and that's the doorway. And where I'm standing, you can potentially, you should be able to see little hooks and latches. I feel I'm going to put it right up and see if that's helpful. This is the doorway.
Yeah. And then when you're in the hiding place, you can see it's rather big. This is why we don't call them priest holes, because this is a hide. It's 12'6" wide, This beam is 17 foot long, and if you're standing in it at its highest point, it's 7 foot high. So it's big.
Yeah.
What they've done on the left-hand side, you can see there's that sort of the wood along the sort of in the rafters, as it were. So that's sort of going to give you insulation, bit of soundproofing. It proves it's a hiding place because they've tried to make it more comfortable. The other thing that proves it's a hiding place is the latch that you could see. You're locking people out of it from the inside. It's a huge hiding place. We think this is actually the last one to have been built in the house. Probably, they didn't really need hiding places, probably by the time this was put in. This is kind of maybe 1610, something like that, when this one was put in.
Wow. Okay.
So it's pretty big. It's pretty big.
A few people could hide in
A few people could hide in there. It's not the sorry, it is the largest one in the house. It's the second largest in the country. The largest is in Townley Hall in Burnley.
Okay.
But there's another hiding place to show you in the attic. Now, the attic is just as confusing, if not more confusing, than downstairs, which makes this house...
Super fun.
Yeah, super fun. Again, past the dead body.
And straight on to Christmas. Sorry,
Now,
Corpsey.
only walking on bits that you can walk on, and watch your head there.
I'm doing this so you don't have to, friends.
Stepping over the hole.
No, that's silly old. Hole in the floor. We know how I feel about heights, friends. I'm not loving this, but it's very interesting.
And again, you can just see how, I mean, the original plasterwork just literally falling off there. That's been like that for years. I'm surprised nothing's fallen off. But we're going to go through this. I mean, look how wonky that is there.
Okay, good. It says mind your head, but I'm straight under it.
So at the very start of this, I showed you the trapdoor. This is it from the other side.
Oh, right. Oh, there we are.
So the priest makes his way up there. Of course, it looks obvious there's something there. This would have been very well disguised. It might have just been a bit of lath and plaster that you can open up. But the priest gets up there, and that's how he gets onto the second level of the attic. But if you swing the camera around, that was the floorboards, by the way, is that hole up there.
Oh, yes.
Which is the other hiding place. Now, that hiding place was found in the summer, not of 69, the summer of 54. 1954, that was rediscovered.
Not so. This remained hidden until 19. Was this the last one found?
Last one found. So this one was found by a man called Granville Squires, who was the priest hole expert back in the 30s and sort of 30s to the 50s. And he found it with Mrs. Webster, who was the curator of the hall.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, but I always question why they were in the attic together. I wonder if Mr. Webster knew about it.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
Don't so.
But yeah. So they found it.
So does that mean potentially there's another priest to hide, or
No, there are 2 voids left in this house, and there's no hiding places there. They're just voids.
so it's all been checked?
All been checked.
You found them all?
Oh, I can tell you every millimetre of this house. Yeah.
Because you want to be double sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there's lots of graffiti up here. I like this kind of stuff. I mean, this is 19th century stuff. So James always signs his name, and that's not James, the caretaker of the hall. That's the assistant manager, but we call him the caretaker. This wall we call the floating wall. This one actually moves.
Should it do? Should it?
Shouldn't do. It's the structural engineer said it's absolutely fine. So
I'm going to believe you because I'm following you blindly and aimlessly.
I won't take you out of it because I know you don't like heights, so we probably won't go above that bit there. This bit also has holes in the floor.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. There we go.
Ta-da! Here we are in the attic. Another bit of the attic is great. So the hiding place I just showed you there is literally above where we are. The hiding place, though, only comes halfway down. It doesn't extend to the full length. Right. This one is believed to be a secret corner, like the one in the chapel under the floor. Yeah. It's supposed to be for priest vestments and things.
Okay.
However, I think it's actually for a priest, because one thing you can't see from here is from the inside of it. It's got something else that would have had a bit like the other hide. It's got like a latch in it, so someone has to be in there to lock it from the inside.
And vestments can't do that.
No. No, unless they have superpowers. So to me, and I could get through there. I know I'm slim, but I could get through there. So it probably is another hiding place for a man. Through here, I mentioned about the escape route from the large chapel and there being another gable. Now, I don't know if you can see it on your camera, but there is another. I mean, do you fancy going through there? Or,
No, thank you.
No.
I can see it.
But there's another attic through there. There's another sort of roof space through there.
Yeah, out the window you can see this shedding light in. I can see a roof through there.
Yeah.
You're going to have to trust me because you can best believe I am not walking.
So yeah, there was another roof space that joined that to this bit. So the priest could come through a doorway somewhere there, through this space, and then pick one of the hiding places to go into.
So you have a lot of conservation to do, and the ways you fundraise it are you and the priest hide 48 hours, history festival, other events. I saw on social media that you were doing a whole thing last year on the gunpowder plotters here. Is that going to be a recurrent thing or is that a one-off?
No, the gunpowder plot is very much an event that is in our diary for the foreseeable future. It is by far the best event we do. It is fully immersive. It's over 18s. I mean, you could have kids there. We do swear quite a lot. But it's kind of, the adults don't always want kids around as well. So it's kind of, we have this over 18s event where you are literally following the story of Robert Catesby, the ringleader. You only see 5 plotters throughout of it because they're the 5 initial plotters that met in the Duck and Drake in May 1604. And that's basically, we retell the gunpowder plot, but we tell the story that not what everyone expects, because people always talk about Guy Fawkes, and Guy Fawkes hardly features in the story. He's just the one with the match ready to blow the thing up. So Guy Fawkes features in ours a little bit, but it's basically following the story and telling you the bits of it that you don't always hear about. You know, it's kind of some of the private meetings between Robert Catesby and the Jesuit priests in England, finding out when, well, there's a bit of artistic license. We're not too sure who betrayed the gunpowder plotters, but there's certainly a scene where Robert Catesby is confronting Francis Tresham, who was seen to have been the traitor in all of it. So we show all of those kind of scenes, and then we have a date that most people forget, which is the 8th of November, which is the final showdown where Robert Catesby and some of the men were literally shot dead 12 miles away from here at a place called Holbeach House. So they fled to Holbeach and they waited and they came and there was a shootout and they were never going to win. And we recreate the battle right at the end of the thing. So there's real sword fighting, real muskets without the musket balls in them.
Good.
And we kind of show a moment where the gunpowder plotters know it's game over. So Holbeach House on the 8th of November, there's a scene where we're in there. Robert Catesby goes ballistic at everyone, and there's panic, sheer panic at this point. We know the game's up. We know we're going to be killed. And then the public, there's this amazing point where Catesby's going mad, which is me. I'll go ballistic. And then all of a sudden someone says, torchlight approaching. The visitors turn around and look out the window, and we have about 30 people walking towards the house with flame torches.
All of the hairs my body have just stood up.
And it's amazing because the whole house is in candlelight. I've completely screamed the house down and told them that, you know, shut up. You know, we haven't come this far to end our quest on some gallows stage is the line. We mean here to die, which is what Robert Catesby said. And at that moment, pause for 5 seconds because it lets it settle in. Everyone knows, like, God, they're going to die. Give it 5 seconds, and then James, who plays Tom Winter, basically says, "Look outside, torchlight." And it's amazing for the public to see. And then the next thing they see is we're running out with swords and we're having a full-on sword fight, muskets going off. It is, I can't describe to you, it's an adrenaline rush to do it, let alone be watching it. So, I mean, it's an incredible thing. So things like that is very much a fundraising event and does extremely well for the hall. We would do literally weeks of it on end, but we are purely reliant on volunteers here. So what's amazing is the gunpowder plot is probably 50 strong in each event, 50 people in costume, in character, recreating the gunpowder plot. It's amazing.
And so tickets for that?
Already sold out.
Already sold out?
They sold out in an hour. So November the 5th last year, in 2024, I put on 5 nights of tickets for November this year, and they all went in 1 hour.
So 2026, be prepared.
5th of November this year,
be online
6 p.m.
6 p.m. 5th of November 6 p.m. to book your tickets for 2026.
Yeah.
And the thing is that this hall deserves care, but needs care, and this is where the money comes from. So we are going to, as I said, I'm going to put that fundraising link in. If you are in the UK, you can't come this year; it's sold out. But
I'll tell you what is coming though. January 2026, we're releasing a new event called Faith and Fear, and Faith and Fear is taking real stories of priest hunters and families in the house and sort of merging them together to create a new plot. So the public can come in again, all under candlelight, and you will witness a priest hunt happening in front of you. You will witness the stories of the lady of the house and her ladies with her, a young child who was based on a real person called Frances Burroughs. It was an 11-year-old girl who stood up to priest hunters. So we've got that happening in ours. So you put all these stories in and then creating something pretty magical. So that's going to be, the tickets will be released for that in October probably.
this October.
This October for January, February next year.
And through the website. So the website will be linked, as well as the fundraising link as well. But I think keep an eye on that. That sounds amazing. I'm going to keep an eye on that myself. I am so grateful we spent the day together. It's always a pleasure. And thank you for showing me all of the nooks and crannies that you have been able to show me. Yeah. I want to throw a final curveball question at you that we haven't discussed. Yeah. Why does history matter? Don't swear.
I'm not intelligent enough for that question.
That's not true. That's not true.
Why does history matter? I don't know, is the answer. I don't know. Because we never learn from it. I mean, this is the thing. We never learn from it, do we? I mean, you know, religious persecution is still happening in the world today. So we don't learn from it from this side of it. So I don't know why it matters to me just because I love it. I mean, it's one of those things. I think I honestly don't know. I think it's nice to see how people used to live. I think it's interesting to see how far or not far we've come in all these years. Mm-hmm. And I think for me, I think it's nice to keep stories of, of these people alive as well. I think these people that lived hundreds, there's some amazing stories. I mean, that the lady behind your head there, she's got an amazing story to tell. And of course, if it wasn't for places like this, that woman would be lost to history totally. So I think, some people are certainly worth remembering, some not so much. So yeah, I'd say that. And I think I don't know. It's a useless answer, but
it's not a useless answer.
I honestly don't know, really. It's just, I love it. And I know a lot of people do. It's just...
Well, for you, it's visceral then. It matters to you. It matters to you because it's visceral. And it would be nice, is what I'm going to paraphrase from out of what you said, if the lessons of history had the appropriate effect. And hopefully one day they will. And maybe if everybody realised how much history matters, if everybody had that visceral response to history that you have, maybe we'd be in a slightly better place than we currently are. So what do you think of everything we've learned today about Harvington Hall, of the amazing event that I went to see, of the priest hides and the wall painting? As always, I'm looking forward to reading your conversations in the comment section underneath this video. I'd also love it if you pop an emoji or a social glyph in the comments too, because that will help to boost the engagement, get the video shared out more, and thus, hopefully, help us grow our community. I'm thinking perhaps we pick something about hiding for this one. I'm not quite sure what you're going to choose, but do also let me know why you've picked the particular emoji with words, because that will hopefully make the algorithm goblins quite happy. You can also find me elsewhere on social media. I will leave links to the place you can find me on the internet in my description box, as I will also leave the links to Harvington Hall and its fundraising. Please do follow me over on all of my links. That way we continue this conversation and start some others. I do hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, please share it with your friends. If you like the channel, let some pals know about it. You can help this video in particular by hitting the thumbs up. Please do subscribe to the channel, and if you think you are subscribed, have a check now, just to make sure you're not mysteriously unsubscribed against your will. While you are there, checking, subscribing, maybe resubscribing, please do hit the bell icon beside the subscribe button and then select all in the drop down that will appear, and that way YouTube claim they will tell you when I've next uploaded, but also when I'll next be going live, which I do currently once a month to chat about the history news. I get sent all of the history news that you have spotted out in the wild. I put it all together and then we sit down and have a chat about it. It's sometimes fun, sometimes serious, and at the moment lasts about 2.5 hours. It is a good time. You aren't going to want to miss it. We have, of course, got our failsafe. If you head to my website, which will be linked, it is www.katrinamarchant.com. And if you head to the contact page, you'll see this box. If you put your email address in that box and then hit sign up, that will add you to my list and will let me send you out an email once a week so I can tell you what I've been up to, but also send you useful links for my content for the coming days. I hope you're going to have a great day, whatever you're doing, and I look forward to speaking to you all in my next video. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye for now.